Look closely at this smartphone screen. With a few taps, you can instantly own a slice of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. But go back 400 years to the year 1602. There are no digital brokers, zero trading algorithms, and absolutely no Wall Street. Instead, the ultimate global assets were Asian commodities. Raw materials like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves commanded massive premiums in European markets. Acquiring them required immense physical risk. Ships spent months crossing hostile oceans. If a vessel sank in a storm, every invested penny vanished with it. Long before frictionless digital trading, investing was an entirely physical, life-or-death proposition. This diagram shows the era's standard model, the single-voyage partnership. Investors funded one ship, sold its cargo, split profits, and dissolved. But as competing Dutch fleets chased the exact same spices, bidding wars spiked costs and crushed European profit margins. The Dutch government recognized that this internal bidding war was bleeding their economy dry and threatening their geopolitical leverage. In 1602, the state stepped in with a radical mandate. They forced every competing Dutch merchant to merge into a single, unified entity, the VOC, or Dutch East India Company. Monopolizing the global spice trade required a scale of operations that the old, single-ship partnerships simply couldn't support. The VOC operated as a sovereign hybrid. The government granted this corporation extraordinary authority. It held the legal right to construct military fortresses, deploy its own armed forces, negotiate international treaties, and declare war on foreign powers. Standing armies and permanent outposts require constant, uninterrupted funding. Dissolving partnerships after every single voyage was no longer an option. This forced the creation of permanent capital. Private citizens handed their money over to the VOC indefinitely, their names carefully recorded in ledgers exactly like this one. To build a global empire, the VOC effectively trapped its investors' money inside the company forever. This created an immediate problem for the individuals who funded the operation. Eventually, people needed cash to live, but they had no legal mechanism to withdraw their principal from the VOC. They found a workaround. An investor couldn't demand money back from the company itself, but they were perfectly free to sell their paper proof of ownership to someone else. This birthed the secondary market. Brokers in Amsterdam swapped ownership stakes, independent of the actual ships overseas. Speculative tactics emerged immediately. By 1608, investor Isaac Lemaire executed the first short sale, actively betting against the VOC and profiting its value dropped. What began as a simple emergency liquidity exit for trapped citizens organically evolved into an active financial casino. While brokers traded paper in Amsterdam, those shares financed highly physical operations on the other side of the world. The VOC deployed military force across Asia. They extracted trade concessions through violence, subdued local populations, and established a ruthless monopoly over the region's resources. The financial system that allowed everyday citizens to own a piece of a global enterprise relied directly on authoritarian colonial conquest. The earliest accumulation of stock market wealth is permanently tied to state-sponsored military aggression. The VOC itself eventually went bankrupt and collapsed, but the financial mechanism it necessitated, permanent tradable capital, remained intact. By turning a physical stake in a wooden ship into a piece of paper, the VOC transformed corporate ownership into an abstract commodity. Over 4 centuries, those handwritten paper trades in Amsterdam evolved into the massive, high-speed ecosystem housed in institutions like the New York Stock Exchange, which brings us back to that smartphone screen and the effortless tap of a buy button. The digital numbers flashing in your portfolio today are the direct descendants of a 400-year-old experiment designed to fund armed galleons.